Namaskar viewers, hello and welcome to Sansad TV. I'm Tina Jha, you're watching Perspective. JDU Chief Nitish Kumar was sworn in on Thursday for a record 10th time as the Chief Minister of Bihar, cementing his place among India's longest serving leaders with nearly 2 decades at the helm of the state. In a grand ceremony at Patna's historic Gandhi Maidan, 26 ministers took oath, 14 from the BJP, 8 from the JDU, 2 from the LJP-RV and 1 each from HAMS and the RLM, marking the NDA's new power structure in Bihar. The cabinet also features 9 new faces, signalling an attempt at both continuity and renewal. The ceremony was attended by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Home Minister Amit Shah, BJP President J.P. Nadda and Chief Ministers of several NDA-ruled states. Another indication of the political significance of this new chapter that the alliance has begun in Bihar. Extending his best wishes to the new cabinet, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, and I quote, "This is a wonderful team with dedicated leaders who will take Bihar to new heights." In a separate post, the Prime Minister congratulated Nitish Kumar on taking oath as the Chief Minister of Bihar. He said, and I quote once again, "Nitish Kumar is an experienced administrator with a proven track record of good governance for many years." The Prime Minister extended his best wishes for the tenure ahead. The NDA, remember, swept back to power with 202 seats in the 243-member Bihar Assembly, giving it a decisive mandate. So as the new government begins its new term, the focus now shifts to what will be its key priorities. What do people expect from those who they brought back to power with such a thumping majority? Also, how will this mandate translate into development on the ground for Bihar? To discuss this and more, we're joined by 2 senior journalists. I'm delighted to welcome on the program today Ms. Aditi Tandon and Mr. Sandeep Phukar. So let's begin by understanding from you about some of the key issues that will now take center stage for the new team that has taken over in Bihar. Following the results on the 14th, of course, through the week, the talks and discussions centered around government formation, around what the new shape of the NDA government in Bihar will be like. Now, with the new cabinet taking shape, the focus clearly is on what will be some of their priority areas of work. Beginning with you, Ms. Tandon, what do you see as the immediate priorities for Nitish Kumar and his team, now especially with such a decisive mandate that has been given to them by the people of the state?
Yeah, I think the biggest and the most important agenda that they will have to look after is the agenda of Jivika Didi. Because you see, women and women votes have been very important in this particular election, and we all know that there has been a 9% jump in the voter turnout of women. So what is most important is that you deliver now on all the promises that have been made specifically for women. Most of the agenda items, as I see it, Tina, will be a continuum of the past governance structures, because if you look at the cabinet also, mostly there is a signal of continuity, like you also said in your opening remarks. There is an induction of some fresh talent, but mostly you have the Chief Minister repeating oath of office, then you have his Deputy Chief Minister Samrat Chaudhary and Vijay Kumar Sinha, both from the BJP, coming back as Deputy Chief Ministers. Right. So there is a signal of continuity. What I feel is that this particular program, where the government gave 10,000 rupees to nearly 1.3 crore women in Bihar, they have to take it forward, and they have to ensure that this does not only become a 10,000 rupee one-time transfer, like the Prime Minister had earlier clarified, that this has to be seed money, whereby women are able to set up enterprise, and then the government will have to look at how this money has been utilized, so that the promised amount of 2 lakh per woman to further help her, expand her business with the seed money that she has used, 10,000 rupees, which has already gone, is also dispersed into the accounts of women. So the idea is that you actually give more economic agency to women. I would also like to see some more women in the cabinet of Bihar as and when the cabinet is expanded, because that's the buzz we hear. Although today we've seen, I think, 2 women have taken oath, Shreyasi Singh and Rama Nishad. But because women have been at the center stage of the entire election narrative in Bihar this time, there is a indication and there is a hope that perhaps more women will also get political representation in the cabinet when the cabinet gets expanded. As we know, not everybody took oath today. Only 27 people took oath, including the Chief Minister. Tina?
That's right. Women empowerment is something that has led to such a massive mandate for the NDA. That's been one of the biggest reasons why the alliance came back to power and with such a thumping majority. It's also been one of the reformative measures that remain in focus of Nitish Kumar. He's been the man of the day today, taking oath as Chief Minister for a record 10th time, registering his name among a league of leaders who served as long-standing Chief Ministers in various states. Mr. Fukun, Nitish Kumar is somebody who's known for governance reforms in his earlier terms. He in fact earned the moniker Sushashan Babu for the so many focus areas that he's had, which include women empowerment, law and order, infrastructure, and so on. What would be your guess? What will be his signature focus this time, which will define this term going ahead?
No, I think I entirely agree with what Aditi said. Look, Nitish Kumar and women, I have often said that Nitish Kumar is one politician who actually managed to create a completely separate constituency of voters among his women supporters. It's like it's as if that it's a completely different. If you look at his initial days also, he started with, I don't exactly recall the names of the schemes, but, he started with schemes like to prevent school dropout of girl child. He used to give a bicycle
That's right, back in 2005.
Yeah, every household. He would give books and uniforms. So, both in terms of books and uniforms and mobility in the form of a cycle, he actually started this. Then there was reservation in the police force. There was a higher reservation in the panchayat for women in Bihar, among the first front-runner states to do all this. And all this happened during Nitish Kumar. Even prohibition, though it is controversial, some say that, prohibition has actually opened the floodgates for bootlegging, illegal liquor mafia, etc. But still, there is an argument that men now find it more difficult to buy cheap liquor, and that's why they spend less on liquor, and that sort of helps the family and the woman of the family. So, of course, there are counter arguments as well, but at least all these issues, they are in continuum. And this 10,000 rupees and Jivika Didi, that is going to be, if a substantial number of women actually put that money into building their businesses, then the promise is that they will go up to 2 lakh rupees. So I think that is going to be a challenge, both a positive challenge because the government will also have to find the resources, but that is also meets another challenge, which is to create jobs, to create livelihoods. Actually, I wouldn't call it jobs, but self-employment, livelihood. So that is one big issue. The second issue is that what you just said, that he earned the moniker of Sushashan Babu, or good governance. If you recall, in this election as well, one of the key campaign points of the NDA, and no less than the Prime Minister himself mentioned it at several rallies, about Jungle Raj. Allegations of Jungle Raj in the previous regime of Lalu Prasad Yadav. So I think law and order is something that he has to keep, and that really clicked among voters. It may not, people who are less than 20 or thereabout, they may not have seen the previous regime because Nitish Kumar has been by and large in power. Of course, there was a small period when he was part of the Mahagathbandhan, and both RJD and JDU had come together in 2015. But, in the sense that it is very clear that law and order and good governance is one issue which they will keep a close eye on. And they will, if you also recall, Tina, in the run-up to the elections, there was some high-profile crimes in Patna.
Yes.
and in the run up to the elections, and that had become a sort of talking point among the opposition parties. The Mahagathbandhan did try to raise that issue. Even in their manifesto, they had talked about law and order, but quite clearly the people of Bihar voted or had more confidence in the law and order track record of Mr. Nitish Kumar. So law and order is also going to be a very crucial issue, and it will be crucial also from the point of view of generating enough confidence to attract investment. That is another area.
Certainly. As you rightly said, there will be areas in education, in creating livelihoods and also safety, most importantly, going forth. So there will be continuity, maybe some newer initiatives as far as these areas are concerned to continue with that legacy that Nitish Kumar is known for. I'll start with the one on job creation, because this was a promise made by the NDA, in particular the Chief Minister, at almost every public meeting that he addressed during this election as well, Mr. Tandon. He said his government is going to create 1 crore jobs in Bihar over the next 5 years. Now, with him once again back in charge, do you see him working on a roadmap towards fulfilling this promise? Because this has been a key concern for the people of Bihar. Bihar is a state that from where a lot of people migrate to other states in search of employment. So creating jobs within the state in order to stop that migration is something that the state is yearning for.
Yeah, I think the point of high migration rate of Bihar has been amply made during the campaign trails in this concluded Bihar Assembly election. And it is a valid point, because high rate of migration of Bihar males to states like especially Punjab and Haryana, which are the agriculture dominated states where they work as farm labor, and they don't have a very good living condition. So obviously, like you said, Tina, that infrastructure investment plus investment in jobs will be a big challenge for Nitish Kumar, simply because the mandate that the NDA has received this time is a huge mandate. It is a signal of a very high level of trust in the government and the promises that the government has made. So proportionally, there is a higher responsibility and a higher sense of accountability that the Chief Minister must carry to his chair and to his office. And this promise of 1 crore jobs is not an easy promise to deliver on the ground. It's easier said than done. But, the government of Bihar can take heart and hope from the fact that of late, over the past 5 years, if you look at the growth rate of Bihar year on year, for instance, financial year 2024-25, Bihar grew at a very healthy economic growth rate of 8.4%. So which means that there is a surge and expansion of economy. Parallel to that, we've seen immense infrastructure investment coming in. For instance, there have been so many bridges built on river Ganges itself. And there has been a huge network of highways that has been laid, where the Road Transport Ministry and the Minister, Mr. Nitin Gadkari, has done a phenomenal job. That also was a talking point during elections from the BJP point of view. So there is a ready landscape now for enhancement of jobs. And you see, it was very interesting. If you look at the voter trends, Tina, this time, you would realize that migrant labor that came from Punjab, Haryana, Delhi to, Bihar to vote, they actually stayed on till the voting day to vote and come back.
Yes.
In the past, we have seen that voters go, migrant laborers go, and, they celebrate their Chhat and everything. They have their festivities and they tend to come back. But this time, a very fine trend, electoral trend, has been that they have managed to stay back. They have stood up to be counted. So there is obviously a psychological hope attached with that ballot that the people have cast in favor of NDA.
You're right,
So
because now a large section, you said a large section of Bihar depends on agriculture. Kisan Samman Nidhi has been one scheme that has been very, very successful and applauded. It has reaped results in favor of the ruling alliance as well. So I'll take that to Mr. Fukan and try and understand his perspective also on this key area. Modernizing agriculture, boosting farmer incomes is something that requires extra focus from the new administration, I should say. Have you heard leaders within the NDA or the ruling administration speak about new plans, about initiatives towards this area? Because this will not just stop migration, but this will generate a lot of employment within the state, and most importantly, give these farmers who travel to other states the chance to stay within their homes and lead better lives with good incomes in their hands.
That's right. I mean, Bihar, actually the migration pattern of Bihar, it's a historical, fact that Bihar was actually, from British time, Bihar has seen large-scale migration to different parts of the country, mainly as seasonal labor. Of course, I mean, many of them get settled down. They sort of settle down in the places where they work, but they come for one season, then they go back and they till their land, if they have land, or if they serve as sharecroppers, agricultural laborer. So from that perspective, people who basically offer their labor services outside their state, they can do the same if you integrate agriculture with other industries which are allied industries. So you can have food processing, you can have cold storage, you can have transportation business. All of this are linked to agriculture, and you can actually stay within the state and earn similar kind of money. So, for example, in recent past, we have seen a great emphasis being given on makhana, production of makhana, packaging, producing and then exporting. The Makhana board was set up there. We saw the Prime Minister go and inaugurate that. So it's quite clear that the next challenge or the next phase of development, as Aditi rightly pointed out, that the infrastructure has been done, it's an ongoing process, but a lot of development on that score has already happened. Now what you need is like a real push in terms of creating jobs. And it's quite clear that the 1 crore jobs that the Chief Minister mentioned in his campaigns, and which you just sort of recalled in your remarks, Tina, those 1 crore jobs are not going to come from the government sector. I mean, though in many of the states, be it Bihar or even in my home state of Assam, when you mean a job, you actually mean a government job. That if you get a government job, then you have a job. But obviously, you can't create 1 crore jobs in the government sector. It has to be in the private sector. It has to be in the form of higher investment that the state receives. So agriculture and allied, especially horticulture, packaging, fruits, cold storage, these are all areas where Bihar has great potential, and I think it's performing below its potential. So I think that is going to be one key area where the new government will have to look at and will work.
That's where all the hope is also pinned onto, because given this kind of stability, a refreshed cabinet and so many promises which the top leadership has made to the people, resulting in such a landslide victory, this also gives the government the opportunity to leverage this kind of stability in attracting more and more investment, more and more private sector to come and invest in Bihar, not just to create employment, but to also sort of boost the economy of a state which for long has been in the Bimaru sector. Mr. Tandon, what is it that the state can do now with such a kind of mandate, so many hopes and aspirations of people of Bihar who voted for them? How is it that they can turn around this Bimaru image of Bihar into one that is able to attract more private sector to boost its economy?
See, I think Bihar can take lessons from Uttar Pradesh. We have seen a surge in investments in Uttar Pradesh of late. We have seen Film City project coming up there. We've seen, now so much infrastructure being put into the aviation sector, a new airport coming up, a vast network of highways coming up. So see, the first condition, Tina, for any industry to come into any state is adequate and efficient infrastructure. So, which means that transport and logistic costs have to be competitive in order for the industry to travel to that particular state and set up shop there. So, this is precisely what Uttar Pradesh has done. What they have done is, with their vast network of roads and highways, and you see a lot of networked areas around Uttar Pradesh now, a lot of industry is happy to come into Uttar Pradesh because they know that everything is taken care of. So the supply chain issues are not there, and then there is a seamless connectivity. Transport becomes easy. Otherwise, you see the percentage of transport and logistics cost only to the GDP becomes very high, and any investment resultantly becomes unsustainable. So I think for Bihar to set up a network of jobs, because you see millions of youth are unemployed in that state. The chronic issue of Bihar is unemployment. So when the NDA government promised these 1 crore jobs, they were acutely conscious of the fact that they have to tap the young population, the first time voter, the Gen Z, whom you remember the opposition was constantly targeting with this alleged vote theft issue. Rahul Gandhi was repeatedly appealing to Gen Z. So what was the counter of the NDA? The counter was that we will provide you a stable government, we will provide you jobs, we will create atmosphere where industry will come, and also you will not have to leave your home state in search of jobs to greener pastures. Let's also not forget, Tina, that Bihar is one state which continues to send the maximum number of people into the elite Indian administrative services. If you were to do a segregation of data as to from where do the maximum pool of officers come in, it is Bihar. So the state is full of potential. All you have to do is handhold.
I think that's the irony, that you have the maximum number of IAS officers from Bihar, but also the maximum number of migrant laborers also from the same state, and that has to be balanced, for which skill development and entrepreneurship, something which have become national priorities under the NDA government, have to be replicated in that state as well. Mr. Fukun, how do you think Bihar can position itself to harness its potential, which has not been tapped into for now because of multiple reasons over the decades, but this needs to be done quickly and at scale so that Bihar can come at par with other states that we are talking about, say Uttar Pradesh, and many more to talk about?
I think Bihar has certain geographical advantage as well. It can certainly be a hub for trading hub for further eastern states. What Bengal or Kolkata can do, even Bihar can do the same. There is immense potential even in inland water transport, and I know for a fact that there has been a lot of emphasis on that. Tourism is another area, which is underutilized or underdeveloped, not utilized to its potential. Bihar being, because you have to, if you have to travel to from anywhere from the north of India or other parts of India, you have to travel through Bihar to reach other parts of eastern India, like the northeast. So it makes it can easily be a hub in terms of logistic hub for bigger companies. It can, and I suppose that is the idea when they were saying that when in the earlier avatars, Nitish Kumar he doesn't demand it anymore for special package, but they are demanding that a focused investment climate for the state, so that, because you can only absorb a certain number of people in agriculture. The beauty about agriculture is that in economics, it's called disguised unemployment. So it's disguised because it gives you the sense that you're employed, but you're actually earning way below what you're supposed to earn. But somehow you're making a living by engaging yourself with agriculture. Or allied activities. So I think the next big focus has to be manufacturing, setting up industry, and, as you rightly said, skill development, so that industries come in, and then once industries set up there, it can be, a hub for to reach out to markets in the Northeast. So, these are some of the out-of-box thinking that the government has to do in terms of cater to the problem of unemployment, because they have a huge, number of youngsters who either have to travel far to faraway places in different states to get absorbed in jobs which are not very high paying. So cost of living and other kinds of expenses actually end up utilizing most of their salary, and there's little that they could save. So it really doesn't make much of an economic sense, other than the fact that you can say that I am engaged here, or I am working there as a security guard, or I am working in a mine in Karnataka. But the point is that if you can get the same amount of money staying next to your staying home or next to your house, then it makes more economic sense. Even
That's
in
right,
terms
and that's why there are so many expectations from this government. People have reposed faith in this government once again, expecting that all of these priority areas that need focus, the government has a roadmap ready for that already, and they will start implementing it. I'm also hoping, I'm a citizen of the state, I'm hoping that like other states, like at the center, the NDA has a 100-day agenda. Hopefully, now as the government settles in Bihar, the Nitish Kumar's team will also have a roadmap to drive that momentum and assure the public that this is the 100-day area, and we've already begun working towards your welfare. So with that hope, we'll have to wrap up the conversation. Thank you once again to both of you for joining in and sharing your insights with us and our viewers. And to you viewers, thank you very much for your time as well.
संसद टीवी के और भी प्रोग्राम्स देखने के लिए सब्सक्राइब करें हमारा यूट्यूब चैनल और हाँ, इन्हें लाइक और शेयर करना ना भूलें।